Today I'm here at the Canberra Vintage and Collectible Centre, and I'm here to talk to Jamie, who is the owner, and I can't wait to get you to meet him and learn all about his reselling business, because this is one of the coolest collectible shops that I've got here in my hometown. So today I'm going to ask Jamie how he started this business, some of the mistakes he's made in his reselling business, but also what does it take to successfully run a business that's selling collectible and vintage items. Let's go.
Turning back time just to see it all again. Wanna know if I'm alright. Ooh, it's not easy to find what I'm looking for in the end. Just wanna know what I'm about. Goes up and turns back down. We're all looking for the moment when getting used to not knowing when all the pieces fall in line. Oh, it goes up and turns back down. Keep searching for signs in my dreams back there, and I don't know how to stop, 'cause it brings back the feeling that I can't reach the top now, even if I don't know how. It brings back the feeling that even if it all goes down, in the end I'll be alright. It brings back the feeling, yeah. It brings back the feeling. This violet sky, I had seen it before. It turns truth into lies. Oh, but I won't back down. I must stay on this road. I gotta know what I'm about. It goes up and turns back down. We're all looking for the moment when getting used to not knowing when all the pieces fall in line. Oh, it goes up and turns back down. Keep searching for signs in my dreams back there, and I don't know how to stop, 'cause it brings back the feeling that I can't reach the top now, even if I don't know how. It brings back the feeling that even if it all goes down, in the end I'll be alright. It brings back the feeling, yeah. It brings back the
Okay, I've got Jamie here. Now, this is Jamie. You're
Hi,
in
how are you?
Canberra Vintage and Collectible Centre. Tell us a little bit about this. Like, how long have you owned this store for? Like, when did you get started in this reselling business? And tell us how it all happened.
Okay, well, this store here, we've been here 7 years. I've been doing eBay since late 90s, and we got to a point where you couldn't move around the house. The garage was full. We had stock packed up on top of the bookshelves. So we thought we'll do the shop, but we're at a point then when we opened it, we could, if we sold nothing through the shop, it didn't matter. We were covered, So we got to that point. It was more of a way to get the crap out of the house and the garage, so we could live again at home. But I've been selling since I was a kid. My parents had a service station. My grandparents had a Toy World store.
Toy World here in Canberra?
No, we're from Cootamundra.
Okay.
We're in the bush. But I used to walk around. There's pictures of me with a little sack. I used to collect bottle tops, cigarette packets, lollies. I've always collected. I used to sell at auctions, at Binalong auction when I was 16, 17, making good money for a 16, 17-year-old, but I wasted it all, like we all do.
Yep.
I had the best TVs and CD players and everything, but it's stupid.
Yep.
But I've always had it in my blood.
So when you moved here to the shop, obviously the eBay was doing well enough that it was paying the rent and everything in the shop. So like you said, you didn't really need it. It was just to get it. It's almost like a storage solution.
I wanted a shop, but most people jump in, they spend all this money on shop fittings or cabinets, and they're gone within 12 months. Well, we started, I mean, if you look at pictures of the shop when we opened, it was terrible. You know, it was
Yeah.
there was nothing in here, and we were a little bit more aimed towards. Initially, I wanted to get some dealers and have a centre, but I found dealing with other people's crap was a pain.
Mm-hmm.
So we
You mean like consignment?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we just ended up like now I've got a couple of mates that have some. I have a cabinet, but it's just all ours. It's so much easier. I found for me dealing with other dealers was not the way I wanted to go. So we had a lot more antiques when we started,
Mm-hmm.
but the market changed. Well, it's always been going towards toys, music, games. People my age want their toys back.
Yep.
So the antiques, those people aren't being replaced.
Yep.
Like big collectors of stamps and ceramics and Roald Dalton, those people are dying off, not being replaced because you don't relate to it. So you buy what you relate to.
Yes. So yeah, you've got to pull on their emotional heartstring, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you think that's why it's hard to deal with like a dealer even, because they've almost got some emotional connection to their business where they think it's worth this amount, so then they don't want to deal with you because they're not getting enough?
Yeah. Or people make an offer, and if I own it, I can go, yeah, we'll do that. Otherwise, you got to ring them up, and I just found it was annoying.
Yep.
And they'd come in and they'd hover, and someone would bring something in to buy, and they'd jump in and try to buy it from out.
Yep.
So we had issues teething.
Yep.
To start with, so we just transitioned away from that. We'll own everything. Worked out so much better.
Are you one of these resellers that's very takes the emotion out of it and you just want the quick flip, like money in, money out? Or like I would suspect like this type of business, you're selling stuff that is nostalgia. It is collectible. Some of it I'm sure is worth a very lot of money. So how do you find that balance between almost like you want to do that quick flip, moving that money, the sell through and turning it in and out, but you've also got I know this stuff is worth money. How do you combat that? Because I'm sure that's probably partly with the other resellers. Like you can make the split decision when it's your store here.
Like depends what I pay for something, but when I make a purchase, I like to buy collections in bulk because I find that's how you make more money that way. And I'll try to get my outlay back as quick as I can. So, and you'll have some key items. Like we had a Star Wars the Death Star playset, and we put crazy money on it, and it still sold within 3 days.
Yep.
So occasionally I'll find something that I really love, and I think it adds value to the shop, just sitting there, people looking at it, and I'll price that high. And sometimes you think that's crazy, no one will buy it. It still sells, but I don't have any emotion to it. If it comes in, sell it.
Yep.
I'm not a museum. Look, if we kept everything we had, we'd have the best museum you've ever seen, but you've got to sell.
Yep.
And I don't collect anything myself, so I don't have that urge to keep anything.
That's interesting because I find that there's a lot of resellers, especially men, who do the vintage and collectible things, and I would describe some of them as man-child.
And that's another issue we had with dealers. Things would come in, then they'd want it. Oh, can I have that? I collect that. Well, and then I'd feel obligated to sell it to them with what I paid and da-da-da, and it was just a nightmare.
Yep.
Even with friends that collect things. Oh, can I have that? It's like, no. And that annoyed me.
So your home doesn't have all this kind of stuff around it?
No. I used to collect Australian pottery, which isn't very sexy and very manly, but and we sold, and seriously, we had 20,000 pieces. I had boxes packed up, and you weren't looking at it, you weren't enjoying it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't sell it, and as soon as I sold that first piece, it could have all went.
Yeah.
It's amazing the psychological. First bit went, didn't want any of it anymore.
Yep.
But so we sold off all the early drip glaze and to fund a lot of the shop.
Yep.
And the only thing I kept, there's a few pieces I kept because they were presents from the kids and things like that, like Ellis animals, and I think I've got 5 pieces of pottery.
Wow.
So that's it. But when you go home, no, there's nothing.
So when you started out and you were just on eBay, did you start off like a lot of resellers where you're just going down the thrift route and you're going to the op shops and the thrift stores?
More garage sales than thrift
Garage
shops.
sales, yeah.
I wasn't a big thrifter, but I never found a lot. And I find a lot of those places already have connections.
Yep.
There's lots of helpers out there.
Yes.
So it's hard to get in there.
They're getting first dibs, aren't they?
Yeah. So I found garage sales were really. I'd still find things at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
At lunchtime, and you think it's all over by then, but you're still finding things.
Do you still go garage selling now?
No, occasionally.
You just don't really need to now,
I don't need to. I miss it. It's look. Vicky and I went to one because were on our way to work. It was around the corner.
Yep.
And we stopped and it was full of toys and we bought a heap. But I don't, no.
Yep.
Like the garage sale trail was on.
Yeah.
I couldn't be bothered.
Yep.
Couldn't be bothered.
Do you get a lot of people, because you've got this brick and mortar store, do they bring stuff here
Yeah.
directly to you to
That's
buy
one
out?
of one of the best things about having your own store is all the stuff coming in. And now, like, since we've been, like, the first 3 or 4 years was a bit, the last couple, it's really gone off and we've got a lot of people.
Yep.
But having said that, I think, 20% of Canberra might know we're here, if that.
Yep.
So it's that if everyone in Canberra knew we were here, we'd kill it.
Yep.
There's just so much out there. And at the moment, people are chasing money. So every day we're getting phone calls and people are bringing things in.
Is that like a big struggle with having the brick and mortar store, is doing the advertising to make yourself known?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're aware, traditional media is overpriced.
Yep.
And it's just not getting that, you don't get the organic reach. Not that I'm very good at, if you see my YouTube videos, they're not very good. It's not something I enjoy.
Yep.
But I know I need to do it. And at some point down the road, I'd love to have a full-time marketing manager to just do all those sort of things. Like I said to you earlier, we had a girl came in, did a TikTok video, and we just got phone calls everywhere from people who saw that video and it just went off. And as soon as you realise this is the way to go.
Yep.
But I don't enjoy that myself.
Yep.
I can do footage, but I hate the editing and all that. And I've never done a TikTok video in my life.
Yep. Is it, doing the social media as somebody who does it, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So unless if you have the passion for it and enjoy it, it's a grind.
Yeah.
And until you do put somebody on there to do that as like a job or even like a part-time thing or whatever, like it is hard.
Yeah. And even like parts of my business, like packing, Vicky and I still do all the packing. I hate it. If you worked out how many items I've packed over the last 25 years, it'd be stupid. And I don't wrap Christmas presents. If people get presents off me, they're not being wrapped. They're in a bag and that's it.
I guess the stuff in here, being so collectible, it takes some heavy packaging, like boxing, bubble wrapping. Like, it's not just simple throw it in a poly mailer like me or a bubble mailer.
Yeah, but we do choose, if it's very fragile, I don't want to put it online.
Okay.
Unless that's the only way, it's a high-end item and it's going to go overseas. It's something that needs to go online. A lot of the time, if you look around our store, everything with a green sticker is in-store only. And there's a lot of green stickers. So we're starting to pump a little bit more online again on eBay, just to keep that revenue. As we have more rent, we have more expenses, and we're employing people. You have to generate more income. So we have started pumping eBay a little bit more than we were a couple of years ago.
So that's interesting. So you're almost like your SKU system, I guess. Green sticker, in store only. So when you sell something online, it's out here in the mix of everything that's public.
Some is, yes, and I know where you're going. It has caused problems, and it does happen.
Yep.
You go, okay, that's sold. We'll go get that. We've sold that. It's not too bad with games because you can source that somewhere else without getting the eBay defect for out of stock.
Almost like a drop ship.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I have to do that with my books as well. I just can't find something.
But luckily, we're not priced too bad, so we can find something cheaper or actually in something that's not too bad for us we don't lose too much on the transition.
Yep.
The postage.
Yep. What's the ratio of online sales to like in store?
Well, it used to be when we opened, it was 95 to 5. But 2 years ago, the shop overtook online by quite a bit, and we got to a point where, like I said, we weren't pumping as much through as we were.
Yeah.
But now it's pretty 50-50. It's pretty close. But if we do we buy storage units. So a couple of months ago, we bought a nice sporting one, and it was full of badges and sporting. Well, we a couple of thousand badges.
Yeah.
So we ran a couple of badge auctions.
Yeah.
So that, of course, that month, and I find auctions on eBay are working better now.
Oh, really? I haven't actually tried them. They kind of feel like with books, it doesn't feel like the right niche, but with something where you've got highly collectible items, people will pay up for those.
Yeah, but even like a lot of times you'll have a look and you'll find the comp price and you'll go, okay, this is what it's worth. But I'll find if I'm going to do an auction, you'll start it at what you're willing to take, the lowest
Yeah.
price you're prepared to take, and it sort of forces people to buy. So you'll find that it's probably only worth $20, and you'll probably only get one bid, but it'll sell that week because it's auction format. So we found that's been happening a lot more.
Have you seen Whatnot in America?
No, I've heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when Whatnot comes, you're going to have exactly the right, the right stuff to do a really good Whatnot platform, and that's basically just online auction selling. And you can just turn the camera on at any time of the day and do like a little auction and make money. Like, it's actually incredible to watch.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the guys in the States pumping it out, but
Huge.
it's not something that I don't want to jump in front of the camera and do auctions, but I guess we'll have to. You've got to go where the money is.
Yeah. Well, I've just been up and stayed with my friend in America, and he has girls hired that do it daily, like all day. They run these auctions, and he says a lot of it is about the personality on camera and how to sell. It's quite a skill to be able to sell online as well as keeping the audience engaged, doing like a live auction. So it's definitely something, but I think it's going to be exciting to come to Australia, and I definitely think you're going to have some really cool products to make like a live auction exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you've also, a lot of the stuff with Whatnot as well goes for cheaper pricing. So some of your stuff won't be there, but it'll still be cool to have in the background. And I think it'll be awesome.
It's something we'll look at when the time comes.
Do you have problems with theft out here? Because in saying that, like, I was thinking about the skew. Like, if you sell something and then it's gone and you're like, did I sell that, or was that stolen?
We've had a couple that we know of. Like, usually, if it's something small, I won't even notice.
Yeah.
And if it's in store only, I probably never even know.
Yeah.
Most people are good, but we had a couple. We had a pair of shoes stolen recently, but we had him on camera.
Yeah.
He was talking to a staff member, told us his name and where he worked before he stole it. We didn't get them back, but we knew we caused enough trouble for him. Hopefully, he got in trouble from his employer, and who knows. But last week I had a pickup in Sydney. I bought a storage unit, and the guy postponed it, so I cancelled the truck. I'm on the phone. He rings back and says, "No, it's on again." In that 5 minutes, I've lost the booking, trying to find another truck.
Oh.
So I was distracted. Kids walked in, stole an Allen Iverson signed jersey, and so I as they left, you knew something wasn't right. Checked the footage, okay. And then they went and put it on Marketplace an hour later to sell. I went and got it back.
Wow. So when you sell something that's got the red sticker, that means it's online and in store?
Pink stickers, yeah.
Or pink stickers
online.
That basically is like, okay, that just sold quickly, go take it offline.
Yeah. So when it comes to the counter, that's when we muck up, because you miss things. I've gone through to send out some offers, and I go, hang on, I sold that a month ago. So
Probably because you get busy doing something else, and if you don't, take it off.
So it's not the greatest system, and I'd love to have a barcode system, but the problem, most of our items you have one.
Yeah.
So just the work, the barcode every single item.
You say you buy storage units and stuff to get those bulk lots, those collectible deals. I would presume that you're not just buying storage units here locally, are you? You're going Australia-wide?
We mainly Sydney. We go up as far as Newcastle. We go to Melbourne occasionally, but it has to be you're already $1,000 out of pocket before you leave for a Melbourne trip.
Yep.
More now for fuel. But we don't. When we started, we were buying everything cheap. Didn't care. I would take a punt. There might be something good in it.
Yeah.
Now I'm much more selective.
Yeah.
I'm not. But we bought a gaming one about 18 months ago. And I mean, that was a buy of a lifetime. It was full of sealed video games, and we saw it on there. And Vicky, we were in Sydney picking up another one, and they had an option to view it. So I went and had a look, and I walked down and said, "Oh, someone with deeper pockets than me is going to get this. There's easy $100,000 in there."
Oh wow, that much!
And we got it for 8 plus commissions, under 10.
Wow!
And we priced it out conservative at 180. And once we started selling, we were doubling.
Wow!
So and you'll never do that again. Well, you say that, but then you get something different. But a gaming unit like that, you don't see those. All sealed Game Cubes and DS and Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color. We had 450 sealed games, and I think we ended up with about 700-800 games total, and they're all mint box or sealed. Yeah.
So
How much do some of these storage units go for? When you just say like 100 grand, you're expecting it. Like, is
Oh,
that like a normal thing?
Well, I thought there was $100,000 worth of stock in there from, you couldn't, it's, like you're aware, it's
Yeah.
different to the States where they bust the lock.
Yeah.
Over here, they can go through everything, itemize
Oh, I see.
everything.
Okay.
They could write down every little item if they want.
Okay.
The ones you go for is when they open the door and take one photo and you hope there's something good. But I need to see my return.
Yep.
So if I'm going to drop $2,000, I need to see $2,000 worth of stuff.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm not going to bother.
Yep.
Well, there is exceptions. I mean, I bought a record one at the Blue Mountains. I dropped 5 on that. All you could see was the back of the unit full of records, but you couldn't see what they were.
Right.
And the only record I could make out was classical, which is not good.
Yeah.
But I got there and it was a ripper.
Do you find that classical's not good because it's a genre that you don't know and you haven't done a lot of research? Or
The most expensive records in the world,
Yeah.
most of them are classical, but time versus reward.
Yeah.
You spend an hour looking at all these, you might find one worth 30. It's just not worth our time. And
Yeah.
I don't have the knowledge to know. I mean, I know early Decca labels and there's certain things I know, but I just don't want to spend the time doing it.
Yeah, I think Tom's the same. He doesn't. That's probably his least known genre is
Yeah.
the classical, and I know that he leaves a lot of it behind, and he knows that he's probably leaving money on the table. But it's just that it takes so much time to research a new genre that you don't know.
It's like 78s are worse. You know, there's so many. Like, there's expensive 78s out there, but
Yeah.
I'm not lugging those around to find one record worth $1,000.
Yeah.
You've just spent 3 days looking through records that are worth nothing. Then you have to got to choose your market. I'm not doing that.
I think the vintage and collectible market is a market that appeals to a lot of people, probably because it brings up those nostalgia feelings. For me, I feel like I can look at some of this stuff and go, oh, that's cool. I remember that from when I was a kid. But I don't think I've got the skills probably to have a whole store on this. Like, what do you think it takes to be successful at running like a collectible and a vintage store? Is it knowledge? Is it like a love for this stuff? Like
a bit of both. But I found, like, if you employ someone, you're trying to teach people these things, they have a feel for it.
Yeah.
I find, and I've always said that even when I started out, it was more antiques based. But you still have a feel for something. Like you'll know something's quality. You may never have had that item before, but you know you have a feel, and that's what I find. Some people don't have that feel. They'll go, 20 years ago I sold that for that, so that's what's worth. But the market's changed, things change, and as we transitioned into toys, I've always enjoyed toys. Like I said, my grandparents had a toy world store, but when eBay started, I remember going to garage sales and I bought a strawberry shortcake cookie jar for $3, and we sold it for 120. 50-year-olds who played with Master Universes and Star Wars and Ninja Turtles and Transformers. That's the stuff they want back, because you're buying memories. What you're buying, and their kids are grown up. They've got money now that they want their toys back.
Yep. Yeah, it's funny because I see the Masters of the Universe and I go, oh, my brother had that, He-Man, whatever. But I think, like with books, like sometimes people get into the misconception that just because it's an old book, it's worth money. And it would be the same with this genre. Just because it's old, it's not necessarily worth money.
No, like the Star Wars 85, the last 7. People think in 70s, the first figures from 77 is where the money is. Well, there is mint on card, but in 85 there was the last 17 and they're the ones that are worth the big money. But it's like tin toys. You can get tin toys from the 30s, 40s. They're not worth that much.
Yep.
But a Batman, we just sold a Batman tin toy from 66 box and went for $3,000. It's to do with the character, the scarcity, of course, but yeah, just because it's old does not mean it's worth money.
What's the most expensive thing you've ever sold?
One item, a Balmain bug. You don't need it. Now, the pond yachts in the 30s and 40s, they used to make the hand build the pond yachts to go around Sydney Harbour.
Okay.
I got a phone call from a guy and he said, I've got a boat here. I said, I don't buy boats. He goes, no, it's a toy. You ride on it or something. I said, oh, look, I'll have a look. I'll be out in a couple of days. I'll have a look. And I walked in there and I looked at it. Oh, my God.
Did you know what it was? Or
Yeah. It had all the spinnakers, everything original, little World War II toothbrush kits made up to clean it. And he said, $500. I said, I'll take it. And I think I got $8,500 for it.
Wow.
But like I said, mainly, and I bought a movie poster collection as well, and that cost me about $3,000, but we probably turned that into $100 easy.
Wow,
But
for posters.
For a single item, it's a bit different. Probably the boat for a single item.
Wow. What about like a toy? Like a small toy?
Well, we bought some cereal toys only a few weeks ago. You know the little flicker rings that
Okay.
used to come in the cereal toys?
Okay.
R&L,
Oh, the cereal.
yeah.
Okay.
R&L made the Australian toys. So
Yep.
you had like this. These are little plastic. Well, these ones were little flicker rings. And I saw those on Marketplace. They've been on there for 5 weeks.
Oh,
For $30, got reduced to $20. And I thought, are you serious? We sold them for $2,000 2 days later.
on eBay?
On eBay, yeah.
Wow.
So there's money in everything that's ever been mass produced, but it's got to pick the right one. It's the right time, who's collecting it now. And cereal toys, collectors of those are sort of, it's past as well. Its prime is gone. So you've got to get in at the right time. And you've got to be prepared to move on. Like if something new comes, you move.
Yep.
Like some of the old dealers are still trying to sell Royal Dalton or...
Yep.
No, those days are gone.
You have to pivot, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got a lot of games in this store, like video games. That's a large part of the business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because that's intergenerational,
Yep.
and same Star Wars, like this
Yep.
5-year-olds collecting Star Wars figures because of the movies.
Yep.
Same with gaming. I think they'll always be, like I remember staying up all night playing Atari.
Yeah.
All night on it, and you go back and try to play it, it's awful.
Breakout, I used to play.
Oh, I don't know. But you know, so gaming's still huge now for the younger generation, and I'm finding they're starting to collect the early games as well.
Right.
I mean, you can jump online and download 5,000 games on an emulator and play whatever you want, but they want the physical copy, so they're collecting. So you've got kids collecting, you've got 50-year-olds collecting games because they relate to it. So if you can find something that's going to relate to intergenerational, that'll always be worth money.
When you sell online, is eBay the only platform that you sell, or do you use other platforms?
No, that's the only thing we use at the moment. We've looked at other things, and I just find I haven't got the time. If you could integrate platform to platform, it'd make it a lot easier. But we get invited to go to Comic-Con and geek markets and all these sort of things, but just the thought of having to pack up, set up, I just really don't want to do it. I have enough trouble setting up displays in here, let alone pulling them down, putting them back up.
Yeah.
But as a form of marketing, we really should be doing it, but I'm just not there yet.
Do you have your own website?
No, just through Facebook. That's all we have.
Mm.
We have people we looked at doing it. We've had people always contacting us to do it, but just another. I don't know. I think Facebook does the same. I don't want another platform to really sell like that. We do enough through eBay.
Yeah.
And people contact us on Facebook, and we occasionally we'll sell through Facebook and post. But I find we're at the moment, it's like you're waiting until you have everything set up properly before you take the next, but probably never going to happen. So you really should be doing it now. But at the moment, I think I have enough to do. I don't really want to jump on another platform right now.
Yeah. So you said you do your packing, like the picking and packing with your wife. And apart from that, is your main role in this business now just to keep sourcing all day?
Yeah, ideally, I'd love that to be my only role.
Yeah.
So at the moment, look, I do most of the buying. Some of the guys have enough knowledge; they'll know. Yeah. Or if I'm not here, they'll send me pics, and I go, yeah, buy or no. But I do most of it.
How many staff do you have in here?
We have 3 at the moment.
3 full-time?
No,
Okay.
1 full-time, 2 part-time.
Okay. And do they do the eBay listings for you? You don't have to do any of the actual eBay?
I occasionally do some. If it's something I want to do myself, if it's something special, I feel more comfortable doing it myself.
Yeah.
I had a lot of trouble delegating. It took me a long time to let go of a lot of, and even packing. I want it done a certain way.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching someone pack, and I just have to not do it. I have to let Vicky pack any way she wants to do it.
I think it's really hard to learn to step away. I even know I had my son in the other day doing some work experience, and all he had to do was the photos, but they're still not as good as my photos. And like I'm putting them up now on eBay thinking, I hate those photos.
There's a glare, there's a wrong angle.
But it's like at the end of the day, I probably still sell as long as I, make the title and everything good. But it is hard to let go. And do you find that you're working like 7 days a week? Or?
Yeah, I'm always getting in trouble for not putting the phone down or answering email. You'll be sitting at home watching a movie and you're still checking sales and checking emails.
Yeah.
switching off is very difficult.
Yep.
I find.
Yeah. So can you take holidays and stuff?
Yeah, we've taken Hamilton Island recently.
Yep.
Which was good.
Yep.
But that was a week, and it was the longest holiday I've had in 7 years for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah. I think the first.
Did it all go smoothly though when you actually left for the week?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah. Like I probably didn't have a holiday. I don't think I had a holiday for the first 4 years. I had every day, 7 days a week for 4 years. And I needed a holiday.
Yeah.
But I've had a few days off since. Vicky's a good influence on me. So we took a holiday. It was okay. It's hard. You just have to do it. And ultimately, that's where I want to get to eventually. If I can be out buying, I'll go out and buy, bring the stuff in.
Yeah. I've
got people to process, people to load. I've got
Yeah.
someone running the shop. Everything's taken care of. It's still a dream, but we'll get there.
I was going to say, what's stopping you from making that happen now? Like if you, I know Tom's always saying to me, Mel, put somebody on. And I'm like, I can't afford it yet. But then it's like, but it'll generate the money. And it's, so what kind of stops you?
Yeah, money. I'm very conservative. I spend nothing on me. Look at me. But
jeans and tea as well.
I'll put everything back into the store. Look, most of our turnover now is going back into stock.
Yeah.
Back into stock, or upgrading new disc machine or new cabinets, or and you think at some point you'll get everything right, and you can start putting that money into more. And look, in theory, you go, okay, every person I put on full time is going to generate me. It's going to make me 50,000 profit, and it's going to. But I just don't take that punt.
Yeah.
Just in theory, on paper it looks good, but when in reality, sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
And I would suspect it's quite stressful. The more staff you get, the harder, the more stressful it becomes, like looking after everyone and training them and everything like that.
Yeah, I struggle with it.
Yeah.
So my daughter's she does 3 days a week, and I get her to load, and even like I had to stop myself. She does mainly games and some of the CDs and stuff, and just pricing. Like I'll go, I know that's worth more than that, but no. Or if something sells straight away, you go, whoops, that was too cheap.
Yeah.
But you just have to. I try not even look now. Just let it go. You can't micromanage everything.
Yeah.
You have to. At some point, you have to. I know the direction I need to go. Getting there is a bit more difficult.
Yep. What do you think is probably like one of the biggest mistakes that you've made, like as a reseller in a reselling business, whether or not it's like online or in the store? Because I think even if people who've got brick and mortar and people who are just doing online, we still run into the same problems.
Being very conservative stops me from making big mistakes. Look, everyone's had some bad buys, but I generally don't. Like worst case scenario to get your money back. I haven't made too many bad mistakes. And look, I can't think of anything I've sold. Like I'm sure I've sold things underpriced and by a long way.
Yeah.
Like didn't have the knowledge or didn't spend the time researching. But every day you're learning. Like I had some vintage comics brought in, Australian comics. I didn't know anything about them. I bought them like $1 a comic. The guy gave me a price. I said, yep. 3 days later, you start looking them up. So now I know all about early. I may never get another lot like that again.
Yeah.
But I know. So every day you're learning more about. So I don't make a lot of. Look, I'm human. I make some mistakes, but I can't think of anything business-wise. I haven't lost a lot of money on anything.
Yeah.
No.
That's good. When you do your research for this kind of stuff, is it all on like eBay, looking up sold comps on eBay, or is there other places to look up for this kind of vintage?
Mainly eBay.
Yeah.
And if you can't find a comp on eBay, you'll do a Google search. But that's primarily what we do. We try to do it as quick as we can. So and there's also a skill in that. Just because you see something sold for $20 by now, they might have underpriced it by $150. That's why I try to tell people, if you can't find it, and if there's none in Australia, they have to add postage. So for them to buy it in this country, it's going to cost them this amount. You can put more than $20 in it. So there is some skill involved in getting the right price. And just because there's, like I said, one sold for 20, one sold for 150, it's probably worth 150. This person underpriced it by a heap. So don't follow them. And generally auctions, unless it's something really special, auction prices are generally less than the buy it now prices. So I tell them, have a look at both. But then again, you don't want to spend half an hour researching each item. So there's a balance there somewhere.
How long does it take you to research like an item that you don't know much about?
No, if you can't find a comp, sometimes I'll put it to the side if I don't.
Yeah.
And have a look later. But generally, you can find something pretty quick.
Yeah.
With books, we have trouble
Yeah.
with some books. We go to ABE, and
Yeah.
you'll find something, but it's rare you can't find something.
Something.
We had the Sydney Harbour Bridge badge, and that last lot we couldn't find, but I jumped on a badge site on Facebook, joined that, and the guy there had seen one before, and that was reference. You get a price point.
Yeah.
Most things you can find.
What would be the percentage of selling things like to Australia and to overseas?
Well, we a couple of years ago we virtually sold nothing overseas because we didn't offer it overseas. I wasn't interested in spending
Oh, you sound like me.
the extra postage. If you have a problem, you're out of pocket all this money.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing it. We've started a little bit more now selling overseas, especially we've got some graded games, and that unit we bought with all the sealed games.
Yeah.
A lot of them were NTSC.
Yeah.
So the market is in the States. So we've started offering a lot more to the States now, but it's not at the moment. Probably 10% we offer overseas. The rest we don't even offer. If someone contacts us, unless they're in Italy or somewhere I don't want to post to, usually it's just the States, UK, occasionally Canada.
Yeah.
I'm a bit snobbish with where I post.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. It's taken me a long time to go overseas as well, and even now I've got overseas postage on, but I've set it at a very high rate because, a bit like you, I didn't really want to be bothered with it, and nothing was weighed and sized, and I had to just make this decision. Like, if I offered it, I also didn't want to lose myself out of pocket, so I do offer international, but I do offer it at a high rate, and I will reduce it if somebody asks me, but I'm a little bit like you. I find I'd rather just sell Australia wide, and a lot of people have trouble understanding that, but I guess there is a whole market out there that's probably missing out on a little bit. But
sometimes they can. You wonder why they're even asking. It's something common that they can buy in their country for the same price and pay a quarter of the postage.
Yeah.
We get a lot of requests to send it. No, we couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
It's not worth our while.
And a lot of the stuff that you have, like this, you've got glass.
I'm not posting.
You've got the big He-Man things, and if they arrive broken, it's not like you've got another one here that you can easily replace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try not to put too much fragile items online.
Yeah.
We've had a few things. Well, we used to post turntables and things, but
Wow.
one got run over by a forklift at the depot, Australia Post, and you had to muck around for compensation, and we bothered doing it.
What's your favourite item that you've got in the store at the moment?
Mine, I love my gaming kiosk. I just bought a Famicom box, which is a NES. It was used in the hotels in Japan.
Okay.
So the Nintendo Entertainment System. So it's like a box built in. They used to pay money, and you'd sit in your hotel room and play. I've got one of those that I just bought. So that's my newest shiny thing at the moment.
Yep.
Something else will walk in.
But
I like having things around for a little while. I'm happy to sell them.
Yep.
I don't have that need to keep them.
You get a lot of regulars coming in here?
Yeah, a lot of regulars. And a lot of people follow the Facebook. So when you do the pictures, they'll message. If I know who they are, I'll put them aside for them.
Oh, so you've got a Facebook page, so you're not using like your personal account to sell on Facebook. You've set it up properly like a business page.
Business one, yeah.
And new things come in.
Yeah.
You take a quick photo, upload it.
Yeah. Well, we do YouTube as well, but we've got a terrible camera. We're not taking it serious. We should, because we had a few requests to do things. But Facebook will do pictures of all the new stock coming in. We'll do video flick through of the new records coming in.
Yeah.
And definitely with the records, if you do the video, you notice straight away. People come straight in.
Right.
Yeah.
You get a lot of record collectors out here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sell a lot of records.
Yeah, you've got quite a bit of media, really. CDs. Do you do DVDs?
We do, but they're primarily online only, so they're stored out the back.
Okay.
We don't waste the floor space with them.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so you do have some online stuff out the back.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be one of the biggest juggles, mixing it up between a store and wanting to have it out here to be available for purchase, but also like...
But a lot of people come in, they've seen it on our eBay store and they can just come in and buy it. But the problem we have, because we sell everything, like if we just sold records, or if we just sold toys, or just sold games, we try to sell everything.
Yeah.
And it gets difficult.
So you sell everything, but you're selling everything still within vintage collectible.
Yeah. But I still have that mindset. I'll buy anything if I make money on it. It mightn't be in the shop or it mightn't be on eBay, but and that's when I've had to cut back because I used to, if I could make money on it, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
But now, well, there's no point. I used to, and I know dealers from years ago. They wouldn't touch things. I know. And you think, oh, they've got too much money. They're not going to buy that. But it's not about the money. It's not worth your time. You have so much items that you could sell straight away.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Like I'm going to a house call after here. I don't really want to. There's furniture. There's ceramics. I don't really want it. I'm going. I've been there once before, so I'll go back to be polite. But I'm going there with the mindset I'm buying nothing. Sure, I'll buy something, but I don't want to buy anything. But I need to knock things back.
Yeah.
You can't just because you can buy everything. It's not worth your time.
Yeah.
For it to sit there to make, even if you're doubling your money on it, you're never going to get to it.
Yeah, I think sometimes streamlining those processes and learning how to say no is a hard thing in business and in life in general. Having those boundaries set up to say no, or like I'm trying to do it at the moment where if I don't have to sell every book. I want to sell books, but I don't have to sell every book. I need to find the books that are more in my metrics and going to reach a certain profit margin for me.
Yeah, just because you can see money in it doesn't mean you have to buy it.
That's right, because otherwise I'm just churning away, grinding it, trying to do hundreds of books, and a lot of them are low-end books. And yeah, they will sell, but it's a waste of my time, and it's like a long time to make the profit. You have to sell so much volume.
And the time to sell that book to make $10 or that rarer one to make $100 exactly the same time.
That's right. It takes exactly the same amount of time to sell something that you're going to make a 50-cent profit on as it's going to take to make a $50 profit on. So, but it's hunting down those items. Do you think it's getting harder to source them now? Like, is there more resellers now that are making it harder, do you think?
Oh, a lot of people selling on Marketplace. Like you'll have people, I can buy that on Marketplace. Well, I can't compete with Timmy living at home in his parents' house, paying no overhead. Everyone's more aware of values now, where they just jump on and have a look. But I'm still finding most people are reasonable. Yeah. And that's why you buy collections.
Yes.
You know, there's not many people. Like we just bought a wrestling collection. We paid $2,500 for it. Probably paid more than I wanted to, but they go, oh, these are worth. There's probably $6,000 to $8,000 worth, but it's going to take a lot of time to sell that.
Yes.
And no one on Marketplace is going to drop $2,500 on those.
Yeah.
They'll pick the eyes out of it, and then they'll be stuck with all the stuff they can't sell.
Yes.
And I think most people get that. So that's why you buy in bulk in collections.
When you buy in bulk, I'm sure you must be getting some storage units and hauls with stuff that you don't actually really want. Do you send that to auction yourself then? Or I was going to say, how do you work out ways to still make a little bit of money off it and off-sell it?
We send it to auction. So every week we're sending all our excess. We pull out what we want for the shop, what we can sell online, and the rest we just offload. We used to put things on Marketplace, but it's a nightmare trying to sell on Marketplace. Yeah. I do not enjoy it. Even giving things away is a problem. Yeah. So we just send it all to auction. And you don't get a lot, but it's better than throwing it out. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, isn't it funny how we like buying off Marketplace, but as resellers we don't like selling on it?
No, and I would if it was a first thing you got to check is where are they?
Yes.
Well, they're over in Greece or what? Don't even respond anymore.
Yeah. How do you feel about the eBay fees? Because I was thinking, like, you could have a website of your own and have no fees. You've got enough quality items to make a cool website.
But I don't think you won't get the traffic
that
eBay gets. It doesn't matter imagine the amount of money you'd have to spend to get that many people looking. You're better off paying the fees. Yeah. I mean, I'd love there to be competition to eBay.
Yes.
But we pay, I don't know if you pay the same, we just pay the anchor store fees. So what's that, $5.50 a month, I think.
I don't even pay that. I pay the middle one.
All right. Yeah. So, and for us, look, if you look back through some of our lists, I see some things I've had on there for 5 years. Yeah. But you've done the work, it sits there. Yeah. But we are in the middle, we're culling a lot of the DVDs right now. Of course, we need the room, and they've been there long enough. And I'm getting away from that $10 item. If they're sealed, you can just whack them straight in it. But you don't want to be cleaning a disc for $10.
Yes.
So we're probably going to cut our DVDs in half and transition away from that.
Do you clean every disc that you sell, like gaming or DVD? Only if
it needs it. Yeah. Even if there's a slight scratch, yes, we clean them. Yeah. But if they're clean, no.
You have one disc cleaning machine for this store? Yeah.
Only one.
You've got the Eco Pro 2, I think I saw over there. Yeah.
We used to. We've only had that for 12 months. We used to have and what they are now, and they were terrible. Well, they did a decent job, but the time it took.
Yeah.
The best thing. Tom talked me into getting one of those.
Yeah,
The
they're
best
pretty
thing
good, aren't they?
ever.
Oh, you
yeah,
like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah, I'm going to get one of the small ones. I've got a lot of discs myself that I haven't put listed because I feel like there's a lot of them that probably need cleaning, and until I get the machine going, then I'll start listing them on with my books. But
that's brilliant, that machine.
Yeah.
One of the best things I bought.
Yeah, it's interesting how like it's not a cheap tool, but
No.
it's amazing how when you do buy certain tools for your business, whether or not it's like a label printer or the disc cleaning machine, these things, they can be expensive, but they can
Well, even the label printer. I was still writing everything out not that long ago.
Really?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Vicky said, "What are you doing?" So we got the label printer, and you never go back.
No.
But it's fun. I don't want to spend money. It's like I'll buy money on stock, you'll drop whatever. But something, $2,000 on a disc machine. Do I really want to spend that much money?
Yep.
Yes, spend it.
Yeah.
Best thing ever. So I put all that sort of stuff off. That would make life so much easier.
Yep.
So you've got to do those things.
Yeah, having those things, those good tools in your business helps speed up the procedures and the systems. And do you have any like bottlenecks here in your systems that make it that slow you down?
Yeah, seeing value in everything is a problem. Like when the stock comes in, you'll go, or I'll put things to the side, but then something else will come in. So it gets buried and it gets buried. You need to process it. It needs to come in, you go, right, shop, auction, get rid of it, and do it then.
Yep.
But the problem is when you're buying so much. Like we bought all these board games, the strategy games, and there's really good money in them. We processed a quarter of them. The rest are sitting there. Then the wrestlers come in.
Yep.
Then a gaming collection comes in. And then so it gets buried and gets put back, and you just can't catch up.
Yeah, something new and shiny comes in. It becomes so much more interesting, doesn't it?
And I'm easily distracted. Like I'll jump to one thing to the next thing to the next thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of resellers are like that, and I think a lot of resellers have the death pile problem, me included. And I'm trying to get on top of mine as well. And I went sourcing last week with Tom, and we went away to Newcastle, got back on the Thursday, and Friday morning I opened that warehouse door, and before I even did anything else, I stood there, processed every book that I bought, took all the stickers off, photographed every single item, put it away, and then the next day listed every single item. And gee, it felt good.
I wish I could do that. I've got stockpiled out here that I've had for, seriously, I would have had some of this stuff before I moved here.
Yeah.
Boxes of toys. And I go, right, just get rid of it. It has to go. But you look and you start to go through it and you go, well, I send it at the auction. I'm going to get $1.
Yes.
I can get $50 for that. You've got to put that online. And so you sit there. But I don't know if I'll ever get to it.
Yeah.
At some point, I know where I want to get, but I just don't know how to get there yet.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes down to a lot of it is manpower. How much there's only so much one can physically give of themselves, and until you've got more of those staff to keep doing more for you, it's you're at capacity.
Yeah, well, we're there now, really. But we're, like I said, we're looking at taking next door, so we move all the office. But again, it's more expensive. I don't want to employ anyone else right now because I need to, see how this goes. I've got a lot more money going out, and I've got to make sure everything should be fine. But until you've been running with the new system for 12 months, see how I'm travelling, then maybe look at putting someone on. But people go, I just employ the people now. Bloody expensive employing full-time people.
Scary. So expanding into another space, it's obviously because you've got a lot of stock out the back that you can put it, is the main purpose of expanding so that you can get more on the floor for people to see?
Yeah, and to separate the eBay business from the retail. I want to, because at the moment, up behind the counter is just full of this stock. And people coming in looking at that, it's a mess.
So the new expansion is not going to be actually open to the public. No. It's going to be closed off for the online sales.
Only, yeah.
Okay.
So we can hopefully we've got room to process everything out. It should be streamlined.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Talk to me in a year and see.
Yeah. Will you have a designated shipping and packing area over there to make maybe that even easier?
That's what we wanted, but then you started looking at, because the staff levels, you need to man this. We're now looking at because usually we pack during the day.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make a lot of sense to have it over there when we need to be here.
Yes.
So we're probably going to put still pack at this area. We have a little bit up the back. We're opening up all this side to retail floor space, half of the back of that one. So we're probably gaining 50 square meters extra, and we got a good. When we've been in these two buildings, 11 and 12, for 7 years, and the rent's quite reasonable here. We got it cheap to start with.
Yeah.
Next door's not so. It's nearly as much as we're paying for the two of them. So I'm a little bit worried about it.
Yeah.
But like I'm very conservative, so we'll see.
Well, no risk, no reward.
Yeah.
which can be hard. I think there's a level of some people are too risky and some people are not.
Yeah, I don't jump in there. Like I'll make decisions on the spur of the moment.
Yep.
But it's taking a long time to actually make the decision.
Yep.
I'll do it on the spur of the moment, but I'll be thinking about it for years. I'm not spending your money. You pay for it when you got the money.
Yeah.
You don't borrow anything. You don't do anything, and that's the best way. And I've had people come in and they go, "Oh, I'm going to open my shop," and go for it. They think they're going to open the doors, and all these people are going to come in.
Yeah.
And they go, "Well, why aren't you in the mall?" Well, it would have been broke within 3 months. That's why I'm not in the mall.
The storage space is very expensive here in Canberra where we live, which is why I travel to Goulburn for the warehouse space.
Yeah.
So expensive here.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're getting there. It's your baby, and you think eventually you'll get it the way. It never gets to the way you want. There's always something you want to fix. So
So I always say the same thing. If you wait until your business is how you want it, it's never going to be
like
there.
waiting to have kids for the right time. The right time never comes.
Oh yeah, that's what I say. People say I can't afford to have kids yet. I go, if you wait till you can afford it, you will never have one.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to learn to adjust with things, don't you?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I hope to come back here again and come out here and
check out
more
the new
often
area
and check out the store. Yeah, it's a very, very cool shop. Walking, I'm a bit like you. I'm not one who collects things, but I still walk out here and go, oh, I remember that. Or you had something here last time I was here a few months ago. I can see it's gone, but it was the McDonald's high chair.
Yeah.
And I worked at McDonald's for 10 years. I've cleaned that many of those high chairs over the years, and seeing that high chair brought back all those memories for me. And I was like, oh, I almost want to have a high chair like that and have a baby to put into it. So it is interesting. And I see the He-Man castle, and I think I remember my brother having it. And
that's what we're doing. We're buying memories.
Yeah. Tap into those memories. It's funny. I bought a do you know the treehouse, the green treehouse?
Yeah, we've got a couple here. Yeah.
I bought one from a thrift store for like $5, and I had it there to sell. I can't sell it because as a kid we couldn't afford it, so I couldn't get one. But my best friend had one, and I'd go to her house and I'd play with it, and I was so jealous that I didn't have it. And now I've bought one to sell, and it sits in my book room.
That's cool.
I can't sell it, but because I'm like, I don't even like these kind of
I'm generally
things.
Not sentimental at all. But I've got the rocking horse that we had when we were kids.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad had it up the coast. It was getting up there. It was getting mould on it, and they said, "Sell it, get rid of it." So I brought it here to sell it. I went, "I can't sell it." So I've still got it. It's right over there. So
there's just those occasional things, and I don't know what it was, but I wanted that treehouse so bad as a kid, and they were too expensive. Now I've got it and can't do anything with it, and got it at the stage where my kids were too old to play with it.
That's probably good.
Yeah, probably. They would have trashed it. Anyway, thanks so much.
No
it's been
problem at
awesome talking to you. It's really good to hear from another reseller who's doing very successfully.
We try. Thank you.
Can I ask one more question? When you started this, you probably would have started with very minimal, like hardly any money, and you've just pretty much, like you said, you haven't borrowed any money.
No.
You've pretty much gone from like maybe your first item. Do you remember what it was? Was your first item that you sold?
In the shop?
Or on eBay, like in the 90s?
I can't remember, but I know we were getting really good money for Game & Watches and all those sort of things back then. It was crazy.
You just started with a small store like a lot of us are.
Yeah.
And you've just grown it to this, where now it's like a very successful, making a lot of money. Yep. Well done.
Thank you.
It's inspiring. Thanks for talking to me.
No problem at all.
Okay, bye.